Noon. Hello. We've been awake a long time, so I don't know if it's morning or night. So I was hoping it was afternoon, and it was correct. So thank you for being here. Awesome day to be a Duck. Certainly a very successful and exciting National Signing Day. A tremendous thank you has to go out to, number one, just everyone that creates that environment in Autzen Stadium, because one of the huge reasons why so many of these young men chose to be members of this organization was because of their experience in Autzen. And we all know it's an unforgettable, experience whenever you're there for the first time and you get to sit in and watch a game and be part of the pageantry and everything that goes with it. And certainly all the coaches, the support staff, everyone, the people in academics, the people on campus, the people in the building, so many people go into putting together successful official and unofficial visits. And the list is endless. And you guys are more than welcome. We actually have a thank you big old spread for them in February. I'll make sure, I'll take your food orders if you guys want to come. We'll have you there. So, but it's important to thank them because, you only have people on your campus, your prospects on your campus for 48 hours, and everything has to work perfectly. It has to be synchronized and organized. And certainly the feedback that we have from our visitors has been incredible. So again, it's you always want more. Certainly, I don't think you ever leave National Sign Day feeling we got everything we want, everything we need. But certainly, a big step forward. It's something that we want to and need to get used to. We need to continue this that 1/3, that part of rebuilding a successful program, which is talent acquisition, which is evaluating, recruiting, and signing the top prospects in the country. And we all feel like we took a really big step in that direction today.
Questions? James?
Mario, when players live up to their potential, that's fulfilling for coaches and whatnot on an individual basis. So for coaches, this is part of your self-evaluation process and how you're looked at. When obviously you came from a background of being known as a renowned recruiter, what is the feeling on a personal level for you and your staff to be here this is really your first full class, to have what is a historic class for this program and leading the Pac-12 for the first time in the modern era?
It validates a lot of things that we already know and feel strongly about. It validates the fact that Oregon is an unbelievable place, awesome place, and for us, a premier place in the country and around the country, one of the more premier places around the country. It validates that if you work really hard, it doesn't matter where you're from, where your coaches are from, what your background is, but if you work hard and you're genuine and you're honest and you have a passion for the people you work with and work for, it's going to show, and it's going to attract the right type of student athletes and families to want to be a part of that. At the end of the day, families want to entrust their sons to people that they can trust themselves, where they could put their head down at night and feel comfortable knowing that, God forbid there's any issue with my son, whether he be sick or whether there be an emergency back home, that I can trust his coaching staff to watch over him, take care of him, and whatnot. So just validates a lot. And at the same time, really, really exciting. And it raises the bar, which we like. We've always surrounded ourselves with people that are high achievers and have high expectations. But this is a huge step in that direction. It really is. And now it's just we're eager. We want to get them on campus. You wish that these bowl practices could include them, and then we could fly them back home. But we're not there yet, as in the NCAA. So we'll just have to wait for someone to get here in January, and then another set to get here in April. They're all mid-year signees. I believe we have 12, maybe even 13 that are going to be here before the June summer report date for freshmen. So all in all those things just they speak towards just very strong recruiting efforts, tremendous relationships by our coaches with those families, and the ability to get the right kind of student athletes on our campus, the high caliber elite student athletes that want to be high achievers in the classroom as well as on the football field.
Front left, Matt.
I think everyone kind of expected the staff that you assembled that you guys would be able to recruit at a high level, but did you expect it would be the best class in school history, top 5, year 1 for you guys, your first round as a whole group, or is this kind of ahead of schedule?
Well, we made it a goal. We'd be lying if we say we didn't make it one of our goals, and the fact that it landed there, and it's awesome. But I like to defer a lot of times to what my old coach Jimmy Johnson used to say, they used to ask him all the time, well, how do you rate this recruiting class as compared to the other ones? And he'd always say, well, I'll let you know in 3 years. We'll have that question in 3 years. But in terms of, evaluation and the process that go with it have evolved so much over the past several years. I mean, the way that you can, acquire film in advance, the way you can acquire film from their scrimmages and get on huddle and create these systems where you can just evaluate multiple plays. I mean, we have logged 800 to 1,200 plays on a lot of these prospects where you get to watch them again and again and again, evaluate them as not only athletes, but as competitors, flexibility, durability, right? Who's able to sustain playing time and not come out. I'll be able to watch guys bend and react, diagnose plays, play with, show instincts out there on the field, play with awareness, play with a high motor, right? Guys that can accelerate and decelerate and play with power and come to balance. I mean, we've logged multiple hours on all these guys, and we feel we got the right guys. We really do feel strongly about them. And again, what I say is it on schedule, ahead of schedule. I'd say it's a great start. We achieved a goal, and we want to keep elevating that goal.
Right here, second row. Eric.
Kayvon Thibodeau, obviously the headliner of the class, one of the top recruits nationally. First off, kind of the significance of landing a player of his caliber, and then maybe take me back to Saturday and what the atmosphere was like up here when he announced.
It's pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. I think anytime you have the opportunity to land a number one player in the country, and besides that, I mean, when you guys get to spend some time around Kayvon, we call him KT, is you're going to see there's a lot more to him than just being a football player. But in terms of the football aspect, it's what you want, right? A game changer at defensive end, a guy that could play the run and knock back tackles and tight ends and disrupt the offense, get in the backfield, create negative plays, and on any passing situation, especially third down. Here's a guy that could change you significantly on third down. A guy that's going to require attention, whether it be an extra back chipping on that side of the protection, slide the protection that way. There's a guy that can get to the quarterback, and when he gets there, he can cause some issues. So it's a huge thing, and I think the fact that you guys are going to love about him, this is just he's a really smart guy. I mean, you're talking about a super high IQ guy, raised the right way. His mom is an incredible woman who's done just an amazing job raising him, and I could go right down this list and just talk about all the families and how they've just done an incredible job raising their sons. But to answer your question, yeah, that was pretty exciting. You're sitting there and you're watching it. It's like, National Signing Day and announcements have taken over almost as a season in itself, right, in college football, because I think everyone's recognized that it's a huge part of the entire process. It's 1/3 of it. So tremendous atmosphere, and we're lucky he picked the good guys.
Right here in the middle, Andrew.
Coach, coming from your background as a lineman, as a recruiter of elite offensive and defensive linemen, you look at this particular class of guys, a couple guys coming in over 300 pounds already, a lot of elite talent. How much of a source of personal pride is this for you and your line coaches to have this many elite guys in the trenches coming in the first class?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's I love it. I love it. You cut me open and you look inside, I'm a lineman, and I'll be that till the day I go to the grave. So I want to brag on these guys because I know them really well. And, as an offensive line coach, that's where, and I got to stop it. I keep gravitating to those guys. I got to spend more time around the other guys. But, I just want to talk about, and Jonah. I mean, just what can you say? Arguably for some, not for us, the best left tackle on the West Coast and possibly the country, And Miss Melissa, his mom, and his grandmas and his sister, about as awesome as a family as you'll ever be around. And this was like a really, really big deal, for the family. And to know that he is joining, this group of linemen that we have, where we have some elite guys here already that are doing a great job up front, the way that they bonded, the way that they just felt comfortable around each other. They're all great moments, as an offensive line guy. I'm always going to smile just a little bit extra when it comes to those guys. And but super happy there. And, of course, Big Sala celebrating in Hawaii. We should get some live footage here in a little bit of, the big roast they're going to be having out there, and then the entire family gathering and celebrating his moment and his next step and his process. A tiny guy at 6'7", 338 pounds, he certainly he could cause an eclipse if he just walked at the right angle, between the earth and the sun. So him and Jonah are exactly what you want. They're made of the right stuff. They're tough and they're physical and they're athletic and they've got flexibility. So again, there's so much development ahead of them, and we're going to keep investing in the trenches. And if you look at that, if you look at guys like, Kayvon, and Suave, those guys, they deserve a lot of attention, a lot of credit, because those guys had tremendous senior seasons, and were very disruptive and were very productive. And I know we talked about KT already. When you throw that bunch together, you want to talk about an environment where iron sharpens iron. It's exactly what you want. So, but I could brag about them, on and on and on all day. So I'll stop there so I can answer the questions.
On the right, Tyson.
Going to bring you right back to there, though. With what was the last week before he committed or did his announcement on ESPN like for you guys in the recruitment of Thibodeau?
Okay.
And what does kind of that exposure of having a guy of his caliber put on the Oregon hat on national TV do for this program? Does it get you into more doors going forward and kind of so on?
Sure. As you were asking all that, I drifted, and I was thinking, how am I going to block him in practice? First thing that came to my mind, you got to make sure that I think it excites our guys. It excites guys like Calvin Throckmorton, Brady Aiello, Panay Sewell, George Moore, all these guys, Stephen Jones, they get excited. What was that last week like? Well, it was certainly better than last year. I mean, we had the entire contact period to really go out there and put all of the efforts behind our entire year of recruiting. We were able to, put those relationships and all that hard work into good use by finishing off the week with our home visits. And I want to call it nerve-wracking because it is fun. I really is. Being able to go into homes and getting to know people. I mean, it's really not nerve-wracking. You're yourself. You're there to be yourself and really talk about the program, which is pretty easy. I think we could all sit here and talk for hours about the University of Oregon and its administration and its athletics and academics and all that stuff. So, but we felt when he was here that there was a strong connection, that it definitely something felt really right. There was a really good fit, and it just grew. And Coach Hayward and Coach Salavea did an incredible job building that relationship with him. And I'll give them all the credit, to all of them. KT, his mom, Joe, Keith. I was just there for the ride. I was just there to make sure that we all had just a great meeting together and got to know each other, so that goals and aspirations were clear. That structure and regimen and processes were all in place to not only be successful, be significant. And when a guy like that announces for your program, I just think what we all know, it creates that much more of an awareness of a national brand. I think all of us in here feel the same way. It's what Oregon should be, right? Year in and year out. And, it finally happened. It finally happened from a football recruiting standpoint. And this, we expect this to just make the awareness that much greater, give us that much more exposure. His success here will do even more wonders for that. But I think it'll be a big hit with not only this class, but the classes to come.
Jerry, on the right, second row.
I'm sure you're going to have a merrier Christmas after this, but last few years, AJ's always asked the questions. I guess I will this time. Can you go down each player and just a sentence or two or about each guy? I mean, from your own standpoint, we have their bios, but that doesn't give us the inside.
As long as it's okay with everybody. I know, if everyone's okay with that, we'll do so. I'll limit it to a couple sentences. I think a couple things that are neat. 20 commitments and added 2 more. 10 on offense, 10 on defense, 1 specialist. 12 from the state of California, 2 from Hawaii, 2 Florida, 1 Oregon, 1 Colorado, 1 Alabama, 1 North Carolina, 1 Tennessee, 1 from the state of Washington. Classes ranked anywhere from 5 to 7. We'll start on the offense. Okay, Kale Millen. I'll just rip off a couple things on each guy. Number 2 player in Washington, Elite 11 finalist, 70% completion percentage, 8,288 yards in 3 years, 104 touchdown passes. We'll take that. Field general, first team All-State guy. As you know his father, Hugh, was a great football player as well, but a guy that just He was born and bred to be a great quarterback and a great leader, decisive, strong arm, accurate, tremendous football player. Micah Pittman, great story because Micah Pittman didn't even have us in his top 10. And this shows you how the brand is that strong. He came on a visit here and left, and we were, top 2 or maybe the top school for him after being here for a little bit. But again, like Kale, awesome family, top 15 wide receiver in the country, top 100 player in the country. He's going to play in the Polynesian Bowl, was in the opening, did all that stuff. In his career, 177 catches, 3,100 yards, 32 TDs. He was actually the Marmonte League wide receiver of the year, which is a huge honor. As we go down this thing right here, you're going to see that all these guys have those kind of honors. And this guy is, you've seen him, explosive, strong. That's what really stands out about. He's a strong and polished route runner, explosive. Get off the ball, get off press, get rid of wide receivers, run by you, run through you, and can make you miss with the ball in his hands. Going back to Tennessee, number 2 overall player in Tennessee and number 1 wide receiver in Tennessee, Lance Wilhoit. Lance from Franklin Road Academy, top 10 wide receiver in the country, a 4-year Letterman, 100 catches, 2,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. Actually played both ways. Going to play a wide receiver for us. But long, we need more length at the wide receiver position. Great balance and body control. Does a great job with those 50-50 balls. Super excited to have him on our team. Josh Delgado, who left Bosco and went all the way across country to IMG. Another guy, he's a top 200 player in the country. He's actually playing today in that Hall of Fame Bowl down there in Mexico. Played at IMG Academy, first team All-Trinity. When he was at Bosco, averages 15 yards per catch. Great specialist as well. Punt return, kick return, does it all. Guys love him. Very popular guy amongst the other guys because of his work ethic and the way he performs. Certainly excited to have him. Familiar name, Patrick Herbert. 6'5.5", almost 6'6", and 233 pounds. And we like to always say, because he's so close, we never wanted Patrick to feel like we take him for granted, because we could literally walk to his house from here. Okay. So we always made it a point to make it a huge deal, because he is. I mean, if Patrick Herbert wasn't close to us, he'd be a really, really hard recruit to get. Everybody in the country was recruiting him anyways. We're very fortunate to get him over here. Number 1 player in Oregon and a top 10 tight end in the country, and a top 300 player as well. We all know all the great things that they did at Sheldon. Twice was a first-team All-State player. 99 catches for 1,600 yards and 22 touchdowns on offense, and actually had 135 tackles on defense. This guy is, you've seen him, he is long. He's got a big frame. He's just scratching the surface, just a very high ability, high potential, extreme character, hardworking guy. Thrilled to have Patrick here to join us. All right, the linemen, I bragged on them already, but why not again? Jonah, top 15 player in the country, top 10 offensive lineman in the country, top 100 player, All-American Bowl, Polynesian Bowl. He's a CIF Open Division Offensive Lineman of the Year. Certainly in our guesstimation, best left tackle out there. Thrilled to have him. Just high character, high work ethic, explosive, tough. He's got it all. He's got what you want as a tackle. And for us, we look at him as a left tackle. Malasala, joins us from Navarro College. He actually played at Liberty High School in Nevada and ends up going over to Navarro. He is from Hilo, Hawaii. That's where he's at right now. And he was the number 1 JUCO offensive lineman in the country. They had an unbelievable offense. Hard to get statistics for them, but I think it's summed up in the fact that, being the best junior college player as an offensive lineman in the country is hard to do. A lot of great players in there, in a very competitive league over at Navarro. Seen him live, seen him, on tape. He came here in the summer for his official visit. He committed and never wavered, and everybody in the country was after him, just like everyone in the country was all over Jonah. So incredible gets for the Ducks right there. So that is the offense. All right, defensively, did I flip him? Sorry about that. Oh, hold on. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Running back, sorry. All right. Don't text me later saying, hey, coach, no love. You forgot about me already after signing day. Oh, man. All right. Here we go. Well, let's start with my man, Sean Dollars. Number one all-purpose back in the country, top 100 player. Can do it all. You guys have seen him. Line him up in the slot, line him up in the backfield, empty, you name it, he can do it. Wildcat guy as well. Excellent as a kick returner also. I mean, this guy, he's a game breaker. You saw him. A lot of guys saw him in the Bishop Foreman game and what he did. He is a guy that we targeted early on. We were able to get him over here with his family, and they loved their visit, loved their time here. But it's been a long-time commitment and held strong regardless of how many schools came at him. Javon Wilson, top 5 athlete in the state of California, 6'2", 215 pounds. He's an athlete now, so he could do it all. He could play running back. He could play some H. He could do a little bit of everything. Obviously, a big-bodied special teams guy as well. Average over 8 yards a carry in high school. He's a guy that gets downhill, and the first guy usually does not bring him down. Usually runs right through him. Ran for 19 touchdowns and 724 yards this past season, but he led them to their league title this year at Valencia. He got hurt a little bit during the season, so his statistics weren't quite the same. But he's a guy we're really excited about, just a bigger-bodied guy that could tote the football and also help us in other positions. All right, J.R. Waters, all right, number 9 ranked wide receiver in California. Finished Oxnard High School with 27 touchdowns in 21 games. Pacific View League Offensive Player of the Year as a senior. I think the ones that were here for our SNL event got a really good idea of what JR is capable of. I mean, he is a long, athletic, and explosive guy. Could get in and out of his breaks and cuts and go out and get it. A lot of people saw him and Mikkel Wright go at it out there, and it was like, wow, I hope these guys end up at Oregon. Well, now they did. Now they're here. Averaging 25.6 yards per catch. We'll take that any day of the week. That's good stuff right there. I know we talked about Josh, and we talked about Micah, Lance, and we've got JR. We've got our 2 running backs as well. Talked about Kale. Talked about our 2 offensive linemen. All right, so now we are switching over. Is that correct? All right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but hopefully it's helpful stuff. Keon, we have to say this. Keon got this whole Cali Flock thing going. He was the one. He was the one that just started that momentum. He's like the catalyst. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's a great football player. Number two, he's very well respected outside of football as well. And he's a charismatic guy. Guys want to play with him. And he started it, and we're lucky to have him as a member of our family, top 30 player in the state of California. I've been watching this guy for a long time because I know his father from the days at Tuscaloosa, where his father's from. And he is, everyone was trying to get Keon. I'm like, man, how are we going to be able to have an opportunity at him? And, forming a great relationship helped out. Next thing you know, boom, he's over here, counting on him and the rest of our defensive linemen for an instant impact. Certainly a position that we have to continue to bring in some guys that can help us immediately and contribute. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Deerfield Beach, Florida. All right, a place I'm very familiar with. Been down there for a couple of really good players. And while recruiting one of our commitments, we end up recruiting Brandon Dorless at 6'4", 273 pounds. Top 10 defensive end, defensive tackle in the state of Florida. First team all Broward County, which we know how hard it is to do down there. There's lots of great players down there. 12-2 record, district. They're in 8A, in the district 8A. They were the championship spot there, and they got beat in the semifinals. 74 tackles, 27 tackles for loss, 11 sacks. Former basketball player, has not been playing football for a long, long time, and you couldn't tell. He's got exactly what you want as a defensive lineman. Length, explosiveness, size, growth potential, big frame, hard worker. He's going to be an awesome player here, and we appreciate him and his family letting him come a long way to be a member of this family. Big Suave, top 15 defensive tackle in the country, top 400 player in the country, and top 50 player in the state of California, playing in the Poly Bowl. Lots of credit to him. He suffered an injury as a junior that he just met head on, rehabbed, and comes out his senior year and has an unbelievable year. Just strong, explosive, can hold the point against the run, and can get after the quarterback in the passing game as well. Really thrilled to have him on board. He is, another guy that we targeted for a long, long time. We got to see out there in the springtime. Kayvon Thibodeau, KT, number 1 ranked player in the country, finalist for the All-USA Defensive Player of the Year and the Bobby Dodd National Lineman of the Year. Going to be playing in the Under Armour game. He's named co-captain. Finished his career with 200 tackles, 74 tackles for loss, 54 sacks, and 8 forced fumbles. Double-digit Player of the Year awards over his 4-year high school career, and they won the Section 2 title as a junior over there at Oaks Christian. So I don't think you could say enough about KT and all the things that he brings to the table, but I just can't emphasize enough. As much as you're impressed with all the stuff you see on tape, you're going to be just as impressed with him as a person, okay? He does a much better job than me up here in front of the microphone. He's a natural, so you might want to get him early on this stuff. But thrilled to have him and his family with us. Just, again, incredible day for us. All right, moving on to our linebackers and defensive ends. Mace Funa. All right, big Mace Funa, top 50 player in the country, top 10 in California. We thought he was hands down the best one out here. Incredible family. Wait till you see his younger brother and how that guy's growing. He might be even bigger than Mace. But Mace, Mace's family, they have a rugby background, and he sustained an injury going into his senior year. Now, he was hands down the best linebacker, out there before sustaining that injury, and we just felt a strong connection to him. We had offered him, and we wanted to stay true to our offer to him. We believed in him, and we stuck by him, and he stuck by us with his commitment. And he'll be joining us here in the summertime as a junior, all CIF first team, OC register, all county honors, first team all Trinity League, 52 tackles, 6.5 sacks. This is exactly what you want on the field all the time. This guy's a big-time difference maker, and he lets you know how he feels when he gets to you and he tackles you. I mean, he's a big guy. This is no little linebacker you're gonna, collision against and be able to roll out. This guy's gonna knock you back and make you feel it. He is a awesome father, awesome family. Everybody just a thrill to have him here this weekend, along with the rest of the guys. That just everybody connected and bonded. Great, great, great opportunity for us and him. Big G-Mon from Deerfield Beach, Brandon's teammate. G-Mon, obviously one of the more vocal and animated guys for us on social media. I watched G-Mon play when he was a freshman and I was coaching at the other place down the road. And he stood out right away. Everyone that was at that game, spring game, and of course during the season, everybody offered him. Everybody thought he was a great football player. Top 100 player in the country, top 10 linebacker in the country, and a top 15 player in the state of Florida. Finishes with 208 tackles, 37 sacks, 52 tackles for loss, 3 INTs, 2 forced fumbles, and 2-time district champion. 4-year Letterman winner. Not enough things can be said about G-Mon, not only as a football player, lots of energy from my man. You'll like him as well. From Colorado, you're going to love this guy, Isaac Townsend, number 2 player in Colorado. Top 25 outside linebacker in the country, all-state and all-league player as both a senior and as a junior. He had in his 2 seasons 116 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks. And his upside is off the charts at 6'5.5", going on 6'6". The weight here I think says 241. He's more looking like he's on his way to 250 and then beyond. Length, size, explosiveness, hard worker, big weight room guy, incredible family. Great to go into the state of Colorado for a second year and pull out one of the top players with last year, Adrian Jackson, as well. Trevin Maye, Bishop Gorman, number 2 player in Nevada, top 50 defensive end in the country. He's also playing the Polynesian Bowl. They've won the state championship over there, over 100 tackles, 30 tackles for loss, 20 sacks. As you can see, a lot of numbers, a lot of tackles for losses on these guys, disruptive football players. But again, another guy with tremendous growth potential and size, real productive, a guy that stuck by us early on in a tight recruiting battle and never wavered, him and his family. thrilled to have them. Drew Mathis, big guy, Ventura, okay, from Moore Park College, actually was played at San Diego State for a year before going to Moore Park, and just wanted to continue playing football and try to seek other opportunities. He had obviously a great one at San Diego State as well. But to his credit, he wanted to try something else, and he did. And you're going to watch on tape. This is a big guy that could go sideline to sideline as well as play the box, knock you back, diagnose plays, get downhill, scrape right off those double teams, and make sure he knows and he understands football really well. Okay, explosive, tough guy. At Moore Park, 155 tackles, 20 tackles for losses, 7.5 sacks. Two-time first-team All-League player, number 3 JUCO linebacker in the country. And again, a guy that kind of in the process while we're on the road, which was nice this year to be on the road, just kind of came across him. And when we saw him on film, we go, we have to meet him. When we met him, we said, we have to have him. And after that, he came, he actually stopped in. He found a way to get here on his own on an unofficial visit for a matter of hours. A matter of hours. That's how badly he wanted to be a member of this organization, with plenty of offers out there from the Pac-12. Just about every Pac-12 school offered him. So we were thrilled that he felt that way, and great to have him as part of the family. Mikael Wright, you're going to love this guy. Number 1 ranked corner in the country by many different media outlets, top 50 player in the county consensus, and top 5 player in the state of California. A true cornerback, just under 6 foot tall. A legitimate 4.35, 4.4 guy, unbelievable hips, suddenness, change of direction, explosiveness. Him and J.R. Waters battled during that SNL event, and he was off the charts. He is a guy that early on in the process, we felt, man, this is going to be one of those really hard ones, but we have to find a way to get him on our football team. We have to continue to increase the ability to cover all these big wide receivers in the Pac-12 conference, and these quarterbacks that could throw it right over your head. But he's a guy that his play will speak for himself, especially when you put him in the return game as well as a punt returner and a kick returner. Off the charts, special elite athlete, special family as well. All these guys with special families. Triquez Bridges, Big Quez from Lynette High School in Alabama. Okay, a top 300 player in the country. Everyone that's seen him know one thing really stands out about Quez. It's his length. It's a long dude. Huge wingspan. He's 6'3". He's about 185 pounds now. He set the state record for interceptions at 38 interceptions. 38 interceptions. And we kind of felt that during SNL when he was here for that event, when we try to put him in a coverage and the very first play didn't quite understand. It's like, well, wait a second. We're playing quarters. Okay, I got you. I'll play off of number 2 and blah, blah, blah. Talked a little lingo. Very next play, he takes a pick 6 to the house. So he's a guy that's high football IQ, super foundation and principles and values in the family home. What else was he was named a couple of other things, records and interceptions. He was in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, played some wide receiver over there as well, logged 200 tackles and 1,000 all-purpose yards as an offensive player on the other side of the ball as well. But a 3-time All-State player, also plays basketball. He's a big league athlete that could do a bunch of stuff. We're going to play him at safety while he's here. And then Camden Lewis, kind of a late addition, I would say, in the recruiting process, a late process that we got started. Top 5 guy in the country at the kicking position. The MEC 4A punter and kicker of the year, making 13 field goals with a long of 52 as a senior. 82 points, 58 PATs, averaging 58.1 yards on 84 kickoffs. As a junior, he connected on 5 field goals and 55 PATs for 70 total points and had a 51-yard field goal. Strong leg, kicks it out of the end zone, can split the uprights from about 52 to 55 pretty consistently. Good opportunity for us to continue to elevate the competition at the specialist position. And that was a long little, but hopefully at least we hit some things there that will be helpful in these guys in their assessment.
All right, guys, that's all we got time for. We got radio interviews got to do.
I mean, we could do, 2 more, dude. Come on. I just been talking for an hour. I feel terrible, you know. I'm sorry.
Here you go, Rob.
There you go.
I think there was a time just a few years ago where if Oregon had signed a top 5 class with the number 1 player in the country, people might not have been too surprised. But based on some of the chaos, as you described the other day, or maybe that was my word that you
It's
picked
a good
up.
word.
Yeah, for the last couple of years, What was the process when you were first starting to put this class together? Was there any trouble getting buy-in, or was that name recognition, everything still there that you could capitalize on?
The name recognition is still there. Oregon is strong everywhere in the country. Just we just made a point to be us high. We're high energy and passionate, individuals while we're coaching and teaching and everything else. It's got to show in recruiting. Players and families have to see that.
Mario, Jim's name was linked to several head coaching jobs during this time period. Were you in constant communication with him, and did that affect anything? It doesn't appear so with all these defensive guys.
No, it didn't affect anything. I think when a guy is mentioned in jobs, you obviously communicate, but you also give space, because I would never stop anyone from trying to go and achieve a particular job or any career goal that they would want to. So, and I think that's common. You don't want to do that. So, no, I think it certainly didn't affect recruiting, and the way we recruit. We're so involved as an entire staff that I think everybody's efforts paid off well. Okay. Thanks, buddy. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed this.